I'm going to invite a family in our church to come up now. This family has displayed that kind of courage in an amazing way this year. They are St. Luke's members, and just recently, they were the victims of a violent home invasion that lasted over 2 hours on the morning of October the 29th. This has been in the news quite a bit. But this family is going to share with us about their courage and how they have chosen to respond to this time. Thank you, guys.
We are the Potenzas. I'm Carl. This is my wife, Eileen, and these are our two daughters, Allison and Rachel. We are not here to share just about what happened to us on October 29th, but what has happened in our lives since. We're here to talk about faith, family, friends, and to stand as first-person witness to the power of God's love. I'd like you to hear from each of us, Eileen first, then Allison and Rachel. It is our hope that these words will give you hope. Hope that the light that came into the world over 2,000 years ago has overcome darkness, and that our sharing will help pay back some of the kindness, care, and love that many of you have extended to us. We have been overwhelmed by the outpouring of love, care, and concern from so many in this community. In experiencing the worst in people, we've also experienced the best. Before I turn it over to Eileen, I want to say that I have discovered a whole new appreciation for my wife of 30 years this coming summer. I didn't think I could find new ways to love her more, but from the first day following this incident, she's been asking us, how can we make this a positive? She challenges us to make every decision out of kindness, compassion, and helpfulness. We all take our lead from her and have made it a family mission to make this be about meaning, purpose, and helping others.
We were all surprised at how hard our friends and even people we don't know were taking the news. People would come to visit us in the hospital or in my mother's home, looking sad and frightened. One of our counselors talked about how we're all victims, and that's made a lot of sense to us. We feel bad about that and would like to help relieve that pain for as many people as possible. That's another reason we wanted to speak tonight. We found that once we've had a chance to visit, talk, joke, tell stories, that people do really seem to be relieved. I want to share a story from that night. I'm not sure why I got into this conversation with one of the young guys. I started asking him about his life. He told me about his high school experiences, where he grew up. He told me that his own father was killed and that his mother abandoned him when he was very young. I told him that I teach little 3, 4, and 5-year-olds, and that I was so sorry that this is what happened to him as a little boy. This must have been terrible for him, that it would be hard for any child. But I also told him that it didn't mean he had to choose that kind of life for himself. He could choose a different path. He could be so much happier. I said that I wish that I could help change his life around. He stopped, looked at me, and said, "You want to help after all of this?" I told him that I would love to. I said, "You can take all of my things, all of our money. They really don't mean anything. Just don't hurt my family." He promised that he wouldn't at that time and asked me to look at him. Up until that time, we had been told all night long not to look at these guys. But I looked directly into his eyes for just a few seconds. I don't know why he asked me to do that, but I suspect he had never had anyone talk to him in a kind way or show any desire to help him. I knew that I had reached him, and that gives me a sense of comfort and hope. I've been asked how I've gotten through this situation. First, throughout that night, there was a strange sense of peace and calm through the whole episode. None of us felt fear. We just expected that it would be over soon and that it would be okay. Secondly, we've been tremendously comforted by so much support from nurses at St. Vincent's, the police department, our family and friends, and even people we don't know reaching out to us, who've all inspired us in so many ways we couldn't imagine. That has given me the ability and strength to comfort other people.
I have always been scared of the dark. I used to make Rachel here sleep with me and then pretend it was because I thought she needed me for protection. Now my fear has been realized, but I'm here today and I'm going to be fine. I have an incredible family, and through all of this, I have seen how incredibly our friends, family, and community have been. We've been overwhelmed by all the love and support. This community came together after this event in a way that is almost beyond belief. The outpouring of cards, donations, food, love, and support has been amazing. We can't thank you all enough. But thinking about how wonderful our community is after all of this really made me think about the other side. There are people out there who don't have what we have. They are born into a different world than us, and there is absolutely no reason for that except luck of the draw. They are placed in a situation just like some of those boys were, where it was much easier to get support from a gang than a family member or friend. I'm sure almost every person here can think of someone who supported them and loved them while they were growing up, but there are so many people who never get that from anyone. It sounds like a few of the boys there did not have any family or support system. It is horrible for anyone to have to live like that. And although they made bad choices in their lives, there are so many kids out there who are in their situations but could still be influenced one way or another. So that's what I've taken away from this experience. I want to do something. I want to reach out to people who don't have the same opportunities as I have and help them. I want to be their mentor and their friend and help them understand that they can choose to be good people. I want to inspire other people to help too. There is no doubt that this experience has changed me, but I refuse to let those changes be anything but for the better. I made it through this, and although that certainly would not have been possible without my friends, family, and community, I am going to be okay. I have chosen to find the help to heal and not to let the worst in people make me worse. Most importantly, what I want now is to change the world piece by piece. This is what's helping me find my way through this time. I'd like to end with a quote from a great professor of history, Albus Dumbledore, from the Harry Potter series. It is our choices that show what we truly are, far more than our abilities.
As the member of the family who was not home that night, my reaction was a little bit different. My experience with all of this is probably more similar to how some of you may feel. I couldn't believe that such terrible acts could happen to great people who didn't deserve such pain. On my drive home from school that morning, I started going through a range of many emotions. I was furious, terrified, overwhelmed, and even a little bit hopeless. These negative reactions were rushing through me faster than I could process. I was so scared to see how the rest of our lives would play out, as such a tragedy would have to shape us forever. However, what kept me from staying in such a negative place was seeing my family's reaction. I walked into my mom's hospital room first, escorted by what seemed like about 10 great family friends who were so concerned about all of us. I saw my mom laughing and entertaining a room full of people, completely in her element. When I later saw Allison, she was exactly the same. On complete opposite ends of the hospital, they were each entertaining everyone around, with even the hospital staff enjoying their presence. I realized then that everything was not going to be just okay, but good. Yes, there are some bad things in this world, but the positive always outweighs the negative. We've seen so much love and support from not only our close friends, but even complete strangers. All I can feel now is inspired. Just like my sister, I want to help, and I encourage everyone else to help as well. I do not believe that those who did this grew up thinking that they wanted to hurt others. I feel that one way to bring light to this darkness is to help those less fortunate than ourselves find hope. To those who still have fear in their hearts, I would like to say personally that my best therapy has been watching my family help others. Remember that the good can always outweigh the bad if you let it. In the wise words of the Beatles, when it rains and shines, it's just a state of mind.
In closing, let me say that perhaps the greatest discovery we've made in this experience is the power of faith. Eileen, Allie, and I have all said that we felt an amazing calm that whole night. We felt God was with us in a strange way, and we weren't afraid. We believe that was God's presence helping us in a way we'd never felt before.
And another way God is comforting us is through a desire to find ways to help others and make a difference. Believe me, this is not a denial of our pain. It's truly how we feel God is helping us heal. This is why we are persistent in seeking ways to let this experience have meaning and purpose. Sitting in our house the other day, Rob asked me what this Christmas means to me. I think I can answer that best by showing you two pictures. The first one was taken 3 days after the incident. It's a picture of my mom and all of her grandkids surrounding her. Notice the smiles and a little of the beautiful fall foliage in the background. I especially noticed that the colors seemed almost so vibrant right at the end of October this year. It's almost as if God was also saying, "It's okay, you're good." The second picture is the four of us. It was inspired by a friend who thought we could use it as a thank you note to all who cared for us in any way. It also doubled as our Christmas card, but I love the caption, "Together we have it all." Some may think that this was a hard Christmas for us. We understand that, but we're here tonight to say that the Potenzas are okay. We're not overtaken by darkness. This Christmas is about valuing what money can't buy. This Christmas, as you can tell, is about our desire to keep living, loving, and finding meaning in life. The power of Christ is giving us the power to do that. When we hold up a candle in a moment, for us it means we choose to believe that light overcomes darkness. Thank you for letting us share with you on this special night. Merry Christmas.